Hamilton made a statement on the Hyperscan bid and opened the discussion.
So, what I suggest, gentlemen, is that we get straight down to business. Thank you. First of all, can I say that we see this only as an exploratory session, Mr. Hamilton?
Hi, it's Angel. I'm going to be popping up in every important aspect of the international negotiation. Mr. Ivanov right there just defined the meeting. Through this, he could prevent unnecessary topics to be discussed. Apart from what was said, you can also express this by saying, "We'd like to restrict this meeting to a discussion of," or "We'd like to see this as the final negotiating session."
There are two main areas we would like to clarify this morning. First is the exact scope of the joint venture, and second is the questions with the possible conflicts of interest. Fine, we're ready when you are.
First of all, please may we ask how many production centers do you envisage and what will be their capacity?
We see two production centers, one in Europe and one in Japan.
Putting forward possibilities is another thing you can do when negotiating. Instead of "we see two centers," we can also say "we envisage," or "we are talking about two centers, one in Europe, one in Japan."
They will both have an annual capacity of 3,000 VS10 units and 20,000 HHS units.
What is the total investment needed?
Our present estimates put it at 41 million for the VS10 units and 70 million for the HHS. Please, let me get this clear. Do these figures include all costs?
So please let me get this clear obviously means Mr. Ivanov needs clarification. Other ways to say this, of course in a respectful manner, is "Could you clarify one point for me, please?" or "I'm sorry, but I'm not sure that I fully understand you."
Yes, they include all R&D expenditure, plant and working capital costs, plus launch expenses.
Defining a proposal. This is where you can describe what your plan or suggestion really entails or excludes. Helps clarify what you are putting forward. Examples are: it involves or it covers training costs, or it excludes, it does not cover, or it leaves out R&D.
Alright. Have you carried out the cash flow forecast for this project?
Yes, we have. Mrs. Highsmith has prepared some figures which I think are relevant to this discussion. Deborah?
Yes. If you'd like to look at this chart, gentlemen, I'll run you through our projections. This is a cumulative cash flow forecast for the first 5 years of the global joint venture. In year 1,
Deborah Highsmith showed how capital expenditure in the proposed joint venture would peak in year 3. After this, the revenues from the launch of the VS10 in both the European and the global markets would help to finance further expenditure on the HHS project.
so to sum up, we see a break-even of the global joint venture in year 4, followed by 2 years of high returns in the HHS sector.
May I ask another question here?
Of course.
Have you made any allowances in these projections for the usual delays and budget overruns in such projects?
No. Since we have already done our major breakthroughs, we didn't think this is necessary.
If I may come in here, we're confident that we can reach both targets of VS10 and HHF this year, Mr. Ivanov. Let me tell you something, we've done our homework.
I'm sure you have. While we are still on the subject of R&D, I would like to raise the question of the patents.
Mr. Ivanov has segued into the new topic of patents and made the transition without interrupting the previous topic. To further widen the discussion, you can also say, "Can we go on from here to talk about patents?" Or, "Well, this leads us on to the new subject of patents." Or, last but not the least, "Could we now turn our attention to the matter of patents?"
My question is, who will own the patents? All the patents will be held by Visitron. But part of our investment is in the further R&D, is it correct? That's correct. But what we'd be willing to do here is write off your R&D investment against a token fee to the joint venture.
Excuse me, Mr. Hamilton, I don't understand.
Mr. Hamilton here is asking for an explanation. Of course, this is different from asking for clarification. To explain means to elaborate an idea and to make it more understandable. You can say this through, "Excuse me, could you explain that?" or "I'm afraid I don't follow you."
I'm sorry, let me explain. In normal circumstances, Visitron would charge a license fee for basic inventions to the joint venture. In this case, however, you will be contributing to the development work. So although we keep the patents, the license fee would be nominal, say 0.5%.
Мне кажется, нас хотят надуть.
Я ебал.
Что ты думаешь по поводу патентов?
Я думаю, нам не надо это не делать, потому что...
Okay, where would this further R&D work be carried out?
In the interest of continuity, we feel all R&D should remain in the Visitron parent company.
But this would mean we have no say in the development of this product.
No. Let me reassure you, gentlemen. Visitron will guarantee full consultation during this phase of the project and...
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Nope, I am sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry, this is the last time. But if you heard what Mr. Hamilton just said, he is displaying reassurance. You can also express this by saying, "Please let me put your mind at rest on this," or "You have no need to worry about this thing," or "Don't worry, we've taken care of this."
Mr. Hamilton, but I just want to make it quite clear. Your position is that both the R&D work and patents would remain in Visitron. Is that so?
That's our position at the moment.